Hello everyone, welcome to Mythical Sleeps. I am glad you are here. Tonight, we are going to leave the noise of the modern world behind. Close your eyes. Find a comfortable position. Let your shoulders drop. Unclench your jaw. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Imagine you are standing in a vast museum at night. The air is cool and still. The floors are polished marble, reflecting the moonlight from the high windows. You walk toward a large ceramic vase, painted in black and orange. It depicts a man of bronze standing on the shores of a churning sea. The paint is cracked with age, but the image is clear. Let us step into the painting. Let us go back to where the bronze began. The story begins in silence. It begins in the dark places of the earth, where the sun has never touched the stone. Imagine a cave deep beneath the ground. The air here is heavy. It presses against your skin like a thick wool blanket. There is a smell here. It is the smell of wet limestone and ancient dust and water that has not moved for 1,000 years. A woman is walking through the dark. Her name is Thetis. She is a goddess of the sea, and her skin glows with a faint, pale light, like the moon reflecting on the ocean surface. She is carrying a bundle in her arms. It is a child, a boy. He is asleep. His breathing is very soft. It is the only sound in this vast, hollow cavern. She walks barefoot over the cold stones, step by step. She is descending, going down deeper into the dark. The air grows colder. It is a cold that sinks through the skin and settles in the bones. But the baby does not cry. He is silent, wrapped in the white linen of his swaddling clothes. Ahead, there is a sound. It is not a roar or a splash. It is a slow, rhythmic lapping, like oil sliding against rock. They have reached the edge. This is the Styx, the river of the dead, the river of oaths. The water is not blue, and it is not clear. It is black. An absolute, total blackness that seems to absorb the light from Thetis's skin. It looks thick, like liquid obsidian. There is no mist rising from it. The surface is perfectly flat, like a mirror made of dark glass. It separates the world of the living from the world of shadows. The mother stands at the edge. Her toes grip the damp, slippery moss on the bank. She looks down at the child. She loves him with a fierce, terrifying love. She knows he is mortal. She knows his skin is soft and easily broken. She wishes to change this. She leans forward. The movement is slow and deliberate. She holds the infant by his heel. Her fingers are strong. She grips the small, fragile ankle tightly. She lowers him toward the black water. The baby hangs upside down, suspended over the abyss. The water rises to meet him. It does not splash. It accepts him. She dips him in. Down he goes, into the freezing cold, into the magic of the deep earth. The black water closes over his head. It covers his small chest. It covers his knees. It coats his skin in a layer of supernatural protection. Where the water touches him, his skin changes. It does not become hard like stone, but it becomes impervious, unbreakable. The water soaks into his pores, knitting his flesh into something that bronze cannot pierce. She holds him there for a long moment. The silence is absolute. Then she pulls him up. The water slides off him instantly, leaving him dry, as if it was never there. He is changed. He is a weapon now. Except for one place, the place where her fingers held him, the heel of his foot. The water could not touch the skin beneath her thumb. That one small spot remains human. That one small spot remains soft. She brings him back to her chest. The air in the cave feels warm now compared to the river. She turns and begins the long walk back to the surface, back to the light. Time flows like a river. The darkness of the cave fades. It is replaced by the bright, blinding white of the sun. We are no longer underground. We are high up. We are standing on the slopes of Mount Pelion. The air here is thin and sharp. It smells of pine resin and crushed needles. It smells of snow that never quite melts in the shadows of the peaks. The wind rushes through the trees. It makes a sound like a whisper, a constant, rushing whisper. Shh, shh. The ground is rough. It is covered in roots and gray stones. This is a wild place, a place for beasts and gods. And here the boy grows. He is no longer an infant. He is a child, golden-haired and swift. He lives in a cave near the summit, a cave that smells of wood smoke and dried herbs. He is not alone. He is with the centaur, Chiron. Picture the centaur. He is vast. His lower half is a horse, a great chestnut stallion with muscles that ripple like water under the skin. His hooves are hard and polished. When he walks on the stone floor of the cave, it sounds like a hammer striking an anvil. Clack, clack, clack. His upper half is a man, wise and weathered. His beard is gray, like the moss on the oak trees. His hands are large and rough, but they are gentle. He is the teacher of heroes, and Achilles is his student. The days are long on the mountain. They are filled with the work of the body. Imagine the training. It is not frantic, it is methodical. Achilles stands in a clearing. The grass is high and yellow, dried by the sun. He holds a spear. It is made of ash wood, cut from the forest below. The wood is smooth, sanded down by hours of rubbing with a stone. It feels warm in his hand. He stands perfectly still. He is learning to be like the stone. He watches a deer at the edge of the forest. He does not breathe. His heart beats slow and strong. Thump, thump. He waits. He throws. The motion is fluid. It is like water flowing over a rock. The spear flies. It does not wobble. It cuts the air with a low hum. It strikes a tree trunk, burying itself deep in the bark. The sound is a solid, dull thud. Chiron watches. He nods once. It is enough. The diet of the boy is strange. It is the diet of a predator. The legends say he did not eat bread. He did not eat the fruit of the orchard. Chiron feeds him the insides of lions. Imagine the fire in the center of the cave. The flames lick the stone walls, casting long, dancing shadows. The meat roasts over the fire. It drips fat into the coals, hissing and popping. Achilles eats the marrow of bears. He cracks the bones open with a stone. The marrow is rich and heavy. It tastes of the deep forest. It tastes of wild strength. He swallows it, and the strength becomes part of him. He eats the entrails of the wild boar. He learns to take the power of the beast into his own body. He grows tall. His muscles are long and lean, like the runners of the plains. His skin is bronzed by the mountain sun. He is beautiful and terrifying. He runs with the centaur. They race across the ridges of the mountain. Imagine the feeling of running without fatigue. The wind tears at his hair. His feet strike the earth, finding purchase on loose shale and slippery roots. He does not stumble. He is faster than the deer. He is faster than the wolf. He runs until his lungs burn, but it is a good burn. It is the heat of being alive. He reaches the peak of the mountain and looks down at the world below. He sees the blue Aegean Sea stretching out to the horizon. It looks like a sheet of hammered metal. He sees the tiny white specks of ships sailing to distant cities. He feels small, yet infinite. The wind dries the sweat on his forehead. He feels the blood pumping in his ears. But it is not all blood and running. There is music, too. In the evenings, when the sun dips below the mountains and the sky turns a bruised purple, they sit by the fire. Chiron hands him the lyre. It is made from the shell of a tortoise with arms of antelope horn. The strings are made of gut. Achilles holds it against his chest. He plucks a string. The note hangs in the cool night air. It is a clear, mournful sound. He plays. His fingers, which can break bone, are now delicate. They dance over the strings. He sings the old songs. He sings of the birth of the gods. He sings of the stars that wheel overhead. The firelight reflects in his eyes. The smoke curls up towards the roof of the cave, escaping through a crack into the night. The music calms the wildness in his blood. It brings a balance. The killer and the artist, the stone and the water. One night, the music stops. The fire has burned down to glowing red embers. The cave is dim. Chiron looks at the boy. The centaur's eyes are sad, for he has the gift of foresight. He knows what is coming. He tells Achilles of the choice. It is a choice that hangs over him like a storm cloud. You have two paths, the centaur says. His voice is deep, like the rumbling of the earth. You can stay here. You can go home to Phthia. You can marry. You can grow old. You will see your children grow, and their children after them. You will die in a warm bed, surrounded by those who love you. Chiron pauses. He looks into the fire. But your name will be forgotten. The dust of time will cover you. You will be as if you never were. The wind howls outside the cave. A branch snaps in the distance. Or, Chiron says, you can go to Troy. You can fight. You will win glory that will never die. Men will speak your name for thousands of years. You will be fire. You will be legend. The centaur looks directly at the boy. But you will not return. You will die young. You will die far from home. Your blood will water the foreign sand. Achilles listens. He looks at his hands. He looks at the calluses on his palms from the spear. He looks at the lyre resting on his knee. He feels the beat of his own heart. He does not speak immediately. He looks out of the cave entrance at the stars. They are cold and distant and eternal. He imagines the quiet life, the harvest, the gray hair, the silence. Then he imagines the roar, the bronze, the flash of light. He feels the decision settle in his chest. It is heavy, like a stone dropped into a deep well. He knows what he is. He is not made for the harvest. He is made for the edge. He is made for the burning. He nods to Chiron. He does not need to say the words. The choice is made. The mountain is just a waiting room. The ships are gathering. The wind is changing direction. The boy is gone. The hero is beginning. The ships arrive not with a shout, but with a groan. Listen to the sound of 1,000 ships slowing down. The timber creates a low, moaning vibration as the oars cut against the current. The water of the Trojan coast is turquoise and clear, hiding the sharp rocks beneath. The first keel strikes the sand. It is a heavy, grinding sensation that travels up through the wood, through the deck, and into the souls of the men standing there. The motion stops. The world which has been rocking for weeks, becomes suddenly, jarringly still. Achilles stands at the prow of his black ship. He looks out at the beach. It is a long, pale strip of land, baking under the Anatolian sun. The heat waves shimmer off the dunes, making the air look like liquid glass. He leaps. His body creates an arc in the air. His feet hit the wet sand. The impact sends a spray of seawater and grit flying. He is the first. He is the tip of the spear. Behind him, the army follows. The sound is like a landslide. Thousands of sandals splashing into the shallows. The dragging of heavy wooden hulls. The smell of the air changes instantly. It no longer smells of the open, clean ocean. It smells of dry earth. It smells of wild thyme crushed underfoot. It smells of heat. The sun here is different. It is a weight. It presses down on the shoulders. It heats the bronze armor until it is almost too hot to touch. They build a city of wood on the edge of the sand. The camp is a vast, sprawling organism. Imagine walking through the rows of tents. The canvas flaps lazily in the hot breeze. Flap, flap. The ground between the tents is packed hard by 50,000 feet. Dust hangs in the air constantly. It is a fine yellow powder. It coats everything. It settles in the creases of the skin. It settles on the eyelashes. It grits between the teeth. Walk past the armory. Hear the sound of the whetstones. Shk, shk. Men are sharpening their blades. They sit on stools, rhythmic and slow. They pour oil onto the stone. The oil turns black with metal filings. The smell of iron and oil is sharp and metallic. It tastes like blood in the back of the throat. They are preparing the bronze. The bronze is their skin now. They polish the breastplates until they are mirrors. They tighten the leather straps of their greaves until the circulation slows. Achilles sits in his tent. It is dark and cool inside. He runs a cloth over his shield. The shield is a universe of metal. It reflects the dim light. He checks the balance of his spear. He tests the edge with his thumb. A thin line of red appears on his skin. It is sharp enough. He steps out into the light. The army is assembling. It looks like a sea of gold. The sun reflects off 10,000 helmets, 10,000 shields. The light is blinding. It hurts the eyes to look at it. The distance between the ships and the walls of Troy is the plain of Scamander. It is a flat, dry expanse. Today, it will be the canvas for the painting of death. The armies move toward each other. They do not run, they walk. The sound of their marching is a deep, rhythmic thrumming. Boom, boom, boom. It vibrates in the chest. On the other side, the gates of Troy open. The Trojans pour out. They are fighting for their home. They wear armor of distinct patterns, painted with the symbols of their ancestors. The two lines stop. There is a gap between them, 100 yards of silence. The wind whistles through the dry grass in the gap. A hawk circles overhead, screaming once. It is the only sound. Achilles stands in the front rank. He does not feel fear. He feels a cold, crystalline focus. His breathing is slow. In, out. In, out. The signal is given. It is
not a trumpet.
It is a ripple of movement. The lines surge forward. They accelerate. The walk becomes a jog. The jog becomes a run. The sound rises. The clattering of equipment. The shouting of men trying to scare away their own death. The collision is sickening. It is the sound of metal smashing into metal, of wood splintering, of heavy bodies slamming together. Crunch. The momentum stops instantly. The front lines are crushed. Let us look closely at the violence. We do not look with horror. We look with the detachment of a statue. We observe the mechanics of the end. A spear made of ash wood with a leaf-shaped bronze tip moves through the air. It is beautiful in its flight. It catches the sun. It strikes a shield. The shield is made of 7 layers of oxhide and a layer of bronze. The spear tip pierces the bronze. It shears through the leather. It creates a shower of splinters. It continues. It enters the chest of a young man. We do not know his name. We see his eyes widen, not in pain, but in surprise. The air leaves his lungs in a sharp gasp. He falls. His knees buckle. He hits the ground. The dust puffs up around him. The blood leaves his body. It is bright red, startlingly colorful against the drab brown of the earth. It soaks into the dry soil. The earth drinks it greedily. Nearby, a sword swings. It is a heavy, hacking motion. It strikes a helmet. The bronze caves in. The man drops like a stone cut from a string. There is no last word. There is only the sudden absence of life. Achilles moves through this chaos like a dancer. He is faster than the others. He does not waste movement. He steps to the left. A spear misses his face by an inch. He feels the wind of it. He thrusts. His spear finds a gap in the armor. He twists the wrist. He pulls back. The man falls. Achilles steps over him. He does not look down. He is already looking for the next. step, thrust, step, block. It is work. It is heavy physical labor. Sweat runs down his back under the armor. His muscles burn with the effort. The sun climbs high in the sky. It is noon. The heat is unbearable. The smell of the battlefield changes. It no longer smells of dust. It smells of copper. It smells of bowels released in death. It smells of flies. The flies arrive in clouds. They are black and iridescent. They land on the open eyes of the fallen. They land on the sticky red pools. The buzzing of the flies competes with the clash of the swords. The battle is not a flow anymore. It is a grind. The lines push back and forth like a tide that cannot decide whether to come in or go out. Men are slipping. The ground is slick with mud, but there has been no rain. The mud is made of blood and dust. A man slips. He falls onto his back. He tries to scramble up. A shadow falls over him. He sees the bronze point descending. He raises a hand as if to catch it. The point goes through the palm. It goes through the throat. His hand falls limp. The light fades from his eyes. It is like a candle being snuffed out in a drafty room. One moment there is a person, with memories of a mother and a favorite food and a girl he loved. The next moment, there is only meat. The object that remains is heavy and still. The soul flutters away like a moth down to the cold river we saw before. The sun begins to set. The light turns golden, then orange, then purple. The fighting slows. Men are too tired to kill. Their arms are like lead. Their shields feel as heavy as millstones. The armies separate. They pull back, like two wounded animals retreating to their dens. They leave the field to the dead. The silence returns, but it is a different silence than the morning. It is a heavy, groaning silence. The wounded are left in the dark. Their cries are low and rhythmic. Water. Water. Achilles returns to his tent. He removes his helmet. His hair is matted with sweat. He removes his greaves. His shins are bruised purple. He washes his hands in a basin of water. The water turns pink, then red. He scrubs the skin. He scrubs the knuckles. The blood of the Trojan men washes away, but the memory of the impact remains in his muscles. He eats bread, wine, meat. He eats without tasting. He is fuel for the fire of war. Outside, the fires of the cremation pyres begin to burn. Look at the fires, hundreds of them, dotted across the plain like fallen stars. They consume the bodies of the day. The smoke rises in thick black pillars. It blots out the moon. The smell of roasting flesh is sweet and cloying. It hangs over the camp. This is the stalemate. This is the grind. Day after day, year after year. The bronze dulls. The spirits break. The only thing that grows is the graveyard. Achilles sits by the fire. He stares into the flames. He plays a single dissonant note on his lyre. It vanishes into the dark. He waits for the morning. He waits for the killing to begin again. The war continues, but here, by the black ships of the Myrmidons, there is a terrible stillness. It is a silence that has weight. It presses against the eardrums. The air is heavy and stagnant. It smells of salt and rotting seaweed and the sour scent of unwashed men sitting in idleness. Achilles sits on a wooden crate. He is wrapped in a cloak of purple wool. He does not look at the horizon. He looks at the ground. He watches a line of ants dismantling a beetle. Far away, to the east, there is a sound. It is a low, constant rumble, like a thunderstorm that refuses to break. It is the sound of the Greek army dying. They are being pushed back to the sea. The Trojans are burning the ships. You can smell the smoke. It is a sharp, acrid smell of burning pine and tar. It drifts across the camp, stinging the eyes. But Achilles does not move. His pride is a wall. It is colder and harder than the walls of Troy. He plays his lyre, but the music is listless. The notes fall from the strings like dead leaves. Pluck, silence, pluck. Beside him stands Patroclus. Patroclus, the beloved. Patroclus, the gentle. He is not looking at the ants. He is looking at the smoke. He is weeping. The tears run down his face. They are hot and salty. They track through the dust on his cheeks. He is shaking, not with fear, but with grief. He hears the screams of his countrymen carried on the wind. He cannot bear the inaction. He speaks. His voice is cracked and dry. He does not ask Achilles to fight. He knows the stone heart of the hero. He asks for the skin. "Give me your armor," he whispers. "If they see your armor, they will think it is you. They will be afraid. The Greeks will breathe again." Achilles looks up. His eyes are like the sea on a cloudy day, gray and unreadable. He looks at Patroclus. He sees the pain in his friend's face. The stone heart cracks, just a fracture. "Take it," Achilles says. The words are soft. "Take my skin, but do not go to the walls. Drive them back and return to me." It is a promise made in the shadow of death, a promise that the fates have already broken. Now begins the ritual of the dressing. It is a transformation. Enter the tent. The air inside is trapped and hot. It smells of old incense and leather oil. Patroclus stands in the center of the rug. He strips off his tunic. His skin is pale and soft, human skin. It is vulnerable. It bleeds. He picks up the greaves, the shin guards of tin and silver. They are cold to the touch. He straps them onto his legs. The leather buckles are stiff. He pulls them tight. The leather bites into his calf. Snap. Next, the breastplate. It is a masterpiece of the smith's art. It is molded to the shape of Achilles' torso. The muscles of bronze are perfect. The abdominals are hard ridges. Patroclus lifts it over his head. It is heavy, immensely heavy. It slides down over his chest. It settles on his shoulders with a clanking sound. It constricts his breathing. He feels the bronze ribs pressing against his own ribs. He is wearing another man's body. He picks up the sword, the silver-studded hilt. He slides it into the scabbard at his hip. It feels unbalanced. It is too long for his arm. Finally, the helmet. It is made of bronze, with a horsehair crest dyed bright red. He holds it in his hands. He looks into the dark, empty eye slits. He lowers it onto his head. The world disappears. His vision is narrowed to two thin slivers of light. The sound of the camp is muffled. All he can hear is his own breathing, loud and hollow, echoing inside the metal shell. He is no longer Patroclus. He is a statue of war. He steps out of the tent. The sun hits the bronze. It flares with a blinding light. The myrmidons look up. They gasp. For a moment, they believe. He climbs into the chariot. The horses, Xanthus and Balius, are immortal steeds. They sense the difference. They smell the man who is not their master. They stomp their hooves nervously. The ground shakes. The driver snaps the reins. Crack! The chariot lurches forward. The wheels spin. They grind through the sand, then hit the hard-packed earth. They pick up speed. The wind rushes through the red horsehair plume on the helmet. It sounds like a tearing piece of silk. Whiz. Patroclus rides toward the roar. He rides toward the smoke. He enters the battle. The effect is instantaneous. The Trojans look up. They see the armor. They see the light of the sun reflecting off the godlike chest. Fear strikes them. It is a physical blow. It freezes the blood in their veins. They scream. Achilles! Achilles has returned! The order of the army collapses. They turn. They run. Patroclus drives them. He is drunk on the power. He is drunk on the fear in their eyes. He forgets the promise. He forgets the limit. He fights. He thrusts the spear. The motion is not as perfect as Achilles, but the spear is sharp. It pierces backplates. It pierces necks. He kills Sarpedon, a son of Zeus. Watch the death of Sarpedon. The spear enters the chest, just below the heart. Sarpedon falls. He grabs the dust in his hands. He groans. The soul leaves him through the wound, like smoke escaping a chimney. Patroclus does not stop. He chases the fleeing Trojans. He chases them across the plain. The dust clouds are thick, choking the air. He chases them all the way to the walls, to the black, high walls of Troy. He stands beneath the walls. He is trying to scale them. He is reaching for a glory that belongs only to the gods. And the god sees him, Apollo, the far shooter, the god of the sun and the plague. Apollo stands on the ramparts. He is invisible to mortal eyes, but his presence is felt as a wave of intense, blistering heat. Apollo descends. He moves like the knight. He comes up behind Patroclus. He does not use a weapon. He uses his hand. The god strikes Patroclus in the back, between the shoulder blades. It is a blow of supernatural force. It does not break the skin, but it shatters the senses. Patroclus's eyes go wide. His vision blurs. The world spins. His limbs go numb. He feels a terrible ringing in his ears, a high-pitched whine that drowns out the battle. The helmet falls off. The leather strap breaks. The bronze helmet tumbles into the dust, rolling away with a hollow clatter. The horsehair plume is soiled with dirt. The spear falls from his hand. The shield slips from his arm. The breastplate is loosened by the hand of the god and falls to the earth. Patroclus stands naked to the waist. He is dazed. He is just a man again. A confused, frightened man, standing in the middle of a slaughterhouse. He looks at his empty hands. He tries to remember where he is. Then comes Hector. Hector, the breaker of horses, the prince of Troy. He sees the vulnerability. He sees the man who is not Achilles. Hector walks forward. He does not run. He walks through the chaos. He holds a spear. The tip is wet with the work of the day. He stands before Patroclus. Patroclus looks at him. He tries to back away, but his legs are like water. He stumbles. Hector thrusts. The movement is efficient, cruel. The spear enters the lower belly. It is a deep, catastrophic wound. The bronze tears through the soft skin, through the muscle, into the deep organs. The sound is wet and heavy. Thunk. Patroclus gasps. It is a sound of pure shock. He falls to his knees. He clutches at the spear shaft as if to pull it out, but his hands have no strength. He falls forward. His face presses into the dust. The same dust he ran through as a child. He tastes the iron of the earth. The pain is distant now. It is a cold numbness spreading from his stomach, moving up his chest, down his legs. The cold is replacing the heat of the sun. Hector stands over him. He speaks words of triumph, words of the vultures and the dogs. Patroclus looks up one last time. His eyes are dimming. The world is turning gray at the edges. "You boast," he whispers. His voice is a bubbling rattle. "But it was not you. It was the god. and fate. The breath leaves him. It is a long, slow exhalation. The chest stops moving. The heart gives one final, sluggish beat. And then silence. The soul flutters from his lips. It cries out, lamenting its fate, leaving the manhood and the youth behind. It descends into the dark towards the River Styx. The body lies still. It is just meat now. Hector puts his foot on the chest and pulls the spear out. The blood pools around the white skin, turning the dust into a dark red clay. Back at the ships, Achilles stops playing. He holds his hand over the strings to silence them. He feels a cold wind pass over his neck. The hair on his arms stands up. He looks toward the city. He does not know yet, but his blood knows. The silence in the tent deepens. It is no longer the silence of boredom. It is the silence of the tomb. The sun begins to set, casting long, bloody shadows across the sand. The air turns cold. The wait is over. The tragedy has arrived. The grief of Achilles is a sound that breaks the earth. When the news arrives, he does not speak. He pours 2 handfuls of black ash over his head. The fine gray dust settles into his golden hair. It settles into his tunic. It coats his skin like a funeral shroud. He falls to the ground. His body strikes the earth with a heavy thud. He lies in the dirt. He is vast. He covers the ground like a fallen giant. Then comes the cry. It starts low in his chest. It vibrates through his ribs. It rises. It is a sound of pure, raw agony. It is the sound of a lion whose mate has been killed. The cry travels across the sand. It travels across the water. Down in the depths of the sea, his mother hears it. The Nereids hear it. The sea shivers. But grief turns. It hardens. It cools into something sharp and brittle. It becomes rage. Not the hot, red rage of a temper, but the cold, white rage of a glacier. Thetis brings the new armor forged by the god Hephaestus. Listen to the sound as she drops it on the floor of the tent. Clang. The myrmidons tremble at the sound. They cannot look at it. The metal shines with a light that is too bright. It pulses. It looks like trapped lightning. Achilles looks at it. He looks at the shield. On the shield is the whole world. Cities of peace and cities of war. Fields of corn and vineyards of heavy grapes. The ocean and the stars. He picks it up. It is light in his hand. He puts on the greaves. He puts on the breastplate. It fits him like a second skin of fire. His eyes are no longer human. They are two burning coals. He does not eat. He does not sleep. He steps out of the tent. He mounts his chariot. He turns the horses toward the river. The Trojans are retreating. They are trying to cross the ford of the river Scamander to get back to the city. Achilles catches them in the water. Imagine the river. It is usually a gentle green current flowing between reeds and willow trees. Now it is a trap. Achilles drives his chariot to the bank. He leaps down. He leaves his spear behind. He draws his sword. The blade is long and heavy. He enters the water. Splash! The water rises to his waist. It is cool against his legs, but the air is hot. He begins the work. It is a slaughter. There is no technique here. There is only the rhythm of the harvest. He swings the sword. It bites into flesh. It shears through bone. Men scream. They try to swim, but their armor drags them down. They slip on the muddy bottom. They grasp at the reeds, tearing them out by the roots. Achilles moves through them like a shark in a school of fish. He does not distinguish between king and commoner. He kills them all. The water changes. Watch the color. Ribbons of bright red begin to swirl in the clear current. They expand. They mix. They turn the water into a thick, pink broth. Soon the river is red, entirely red. It is opaque. It smells of copper and bowels. The bodies pile up. They block the flow of the water. The river begins to rise. The corpses drift against the banks, bobbing softly. The sound is terrible. The gurgling of drowning men, the crunch of bronze striking bone under water, the heavy, wet slapping of bodies against rocks. The river god, Scamander, groans. He rises from the deep, choking on the blood. He begs Achilles to stop. "My waters are choked," the god says. "I cannot flow to the sea." Achilles does not listen. He climbs over the dam of bodies. He walks on the dead. He steps on chests and faces. He is wet with blood. It drips from his elbows. It drips from his chin. He climbs the far bank. He looks toward the city. The plain is empty now. The Trojans are inside the walls. All except one. Hector stands before the Scaean gates. He is alone. The massive stone walls of Troy loom behind him. The gates are shut. He is locked out. He waits. He sees Achilles coming. He sees the light reflecting off the god-forged armor. It is like looking at the sun rising over the mountains. Fear takes Hector. It is a primal fear, a rabbit seeing a wolf. He turns. He runs. Achilles pursues. They run around the walls of the city. Listen to the sound of their feet. Thud, 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 thud. It is a rhythmic, hypnotic beat. They run past the fig trees. They run past the washing wells where the women used to wash clothes in times of peace. The stone basins are dry now. Achilles does not sprint. He stalks. He matches Hector's pace. He herds him. Every time Hector tries to run toward the gates, Achilles cuts him off. He keeps him against the wall. They run 3 times around the city. 3 times. The lungs burn. The sweat pours down their faces, stinging their eyes. The dust coats their throats. They are gasping. The gods watch from above. They are silent. Athena descends. She tricks Hector. She makes him stop. She makes him think he has help. Hector stops. He turns. He plants his feet in the dust. He raises his shield. He catches his breath. He speaks. I will run no more, son of Peleus. Achilles stops. He stands 10 paces away. He is not out of breath. He is not sweating. He is perfectly still. He does not speak. He simply raises his spear. The duel is short. It is not a dance. It is an execution. Achilles throws his spear. It flies true. Hector ducks. The spear flies over his shoulder and buries itself in the earth. Hector throws his spear. It hits Achilles' shield. It hits the center, the boss of gold. But the shield is made by a god. The bronze point bends. It falls harmlessly to the ground. Hector draws his sword. He rushes forward. He shouts a war cry. It is a desperate, lonely sound. Achilles has his spear back. Athena has returned it to his hand. He watches Hector come. He looks for the gap. He sees it. Hector is wearing the old armor. The armor of Achilles, taken from the body of Patroclus. Achilles knows this armor. He knows its weakness. There is a small gap at the collarbone, where the breastplate meets the neck. A tiny patch of exposed skin, the place where the life beats. Achilles lunges. He thrusts the spear. It is a precise, surgical movement. The point enters the soft hollow of the throat. It goes through the neck. It comes out the back. Hector stops. His momentum is gone. He drops his sword. He falls backward. He hits the dust. Whoomp. He cannot speak clearly. The spear has missed his windpipe, but the life is leaking out. He gasps. He begs for his body to be returned. Do not let the dogs eat me, he whispers. The blood bubbles on his lips. Achilles stands over him. He looks down. His face is a mask of iron. Die, he says. Die, and the dogs will have you. The light fades from Hector's eyes. The soul leaves the body. It cries out, lamenting its fate. The greatest man of Troy is meat. Now comes the darkness. Now comes the act that shocks the heavens. Achilles does not leave the body. he strips the armor. He stands over the naked corpse of his enemy. The skin is white and smooth. Achilles takes a knife. It is small and sharp. He kneels by Hector's feet. He takes the left foot. He feels for the tendon, the strong cord behind the ankle. He slices. He cuts through the flesh. He creates a hole between the tendon and the bone. He does the same to the right foot. He takes oxhide straps, leather thongs, tough and unyielding. He threads them through the holes in the ankles. He ties the feet together. He ties the straps to the back of his chariot. He mounts the platform. He looks at the walls of Troy. He sees the faces of the king and the queen looking down. He sees the horror. He does not care. He snaps the reins. The horses lurch forward. The body is jerked. It is dragged. It hits the ground. The head is heavy. It bounces on the stones. The dark hair, once so beautiful, drags in the dust. It mats with dirt and blood. Achilles drives. He drives fast. The dust rises in a cloud, obscuring the body. But you can hear it. You can hear the sound of the flesh grinding against the earth. It is a dry, rasping sound. Shh. He drives around the city. He parades the dead. The skin tears. The face is erased by the rocks. Priam, the king, watches from the wall. He screams. It is a high, thin wail. He tears his white hair. He tries to run to the gates, to run out to his son. But his men hold him back. Andromache, the wife, hears the wailing. She runs to the wall. She looks down. She sees the chariot. She sees the thing dragging behind it. She faints. The world goes black for her. She falls backward, like a flower cut by a scythe. Achilles drives on to the ships. He is not satisfied. The rage is a bottomless pit. He drags the body through the dust all the way back to the camp, leaving a wide, red track in the sand. 12 days pass. The rage burns itself out, leaving only a hollow space in the chest. It is night. The Greek camp is sleeping. The fires have burned down to embers, glowing like the eyes of dying beasts in the dark. The air is cold and crisp. It smells of the sea and damp charcoal. A wagon moves through the shadows. It is pulled by 2 mules. Their hooves are wrapped in cloth to silence them. An old man drives the wagon. He is King Priam. His beard is white as the sea foam. His back is bent under the weight of a crown that has become too heavy to bear. He is invisible. The god Hermes walks beside him, cloaking the wagon in a mist of magic. They pass the sentries. They pass the sleeping soldiers. They pass the ditch and the wall. They arrive at the lodge of Achilles. The lodge is huge. It is built of pine logs, thatched with reeds from the marsh. The heavy wooden gate is barred, but the bar slides back silently, touched by the god. The gate opens. The old man enters alone. Achilles is inside. He has finished eating. The table is still set. A loaf of bread, a joint of mutton, a goblet of dark wine. The light in the room comes from a brazier of burning coals. It casts long, flickering shadows on the wooden walls. Achilles sits in a chair, staring at the floor. He is lost in the gray fog of his own mind. He hears a rustle of fabric. He looks up. He sees the old man. Before Achilles can speak, Priam is on his knees. The king of Troy, the ruler of the high walls, is on the dirt floor. He reaches out. He takes the hands of Achilles. Look at the hands. They are large, scarred, dangerous hands. The knuckles are rough. They are the hands that killed Hector. They are the hands that dragged the body. Priam brings them to his lips. He kisses them. The sensation is shocking. The lips are dry and papery. The hands are cold. Priam speaks. His voice is a whisper, like dry leaves skittering over stone. Think of your father, Achilles, he says. He is old, like me. He waits for you in Phthia. He hopes to see you return. But I have no hope. My sons are dead, and the best of them you killed. The words hang in the air. They are simple. They are devastating. Achilles looks at the old man. He looks at the white hair. He sees his own father, Peleus, thousands of miles away. He sees the loneliness of age. The ice in his chest cracks. It shatters. A sob rises in his throat. It is a painful, jagged thing. He weeps. He weeps for his father. He weeps for Patroclus. Priam weeps for Hector. The sound of their grief fills the room. It is a harmony of sorrow. The killer and the father, the young and the old. They are united by the cruelty of the world. Achilles stands. He reaches down. He lifts the old man up. The movement is gentle. He touches the gray hair. Sit, he says. We must let the sorrow rest in our hearts. We cannot heal it with tears. He moves to the table. He serves the king. He slices the meat. Shk. He pours the wine. Glug, glug. The liquid is dark purple, almost black in the firelight. They eat. It is a strange, holy meal. They look at each other. Priam marvels at Achilles. He sees the beauty of the man, the terrifying perfection of the god-born. Achilles marvels at Priam. He sees the dignity of the king, the brave heart that walked into the lion's den. "Give me my son," Priam says softly. Achilles nods. He goes outside. He orders the women to wash the body of Hector. He orders them to anoint it with oil. He does not want Priam to see the damage. He wraps the body in a white tunic and a purple cloak. He lifts Hector. The body is heavy, stiff with death. Achilles places him on the wagon. He whispers to the ghost of Patroclus, "Do not be angry with me, my friend. I have given him back. It was the right thing to do." The truce lasts for 12 days. 12 days of silence on the plain. The Trojans mourn. The Greeks wait. We see the smoke of Hector's pyre rising over the walls of Troy. It is a thin, gray line against the blue sky. Then the wheel turns. The time is up. The grinding begins again. Achilles returns to the walls. He knows it is the end. He can feel it in the air. The wind smells different today. It smells of finality. He stands near the Scaean gates, the same gates where he killed Hector. He is not fighting with rage today. He is fighting with a calm, mechanical precision. He pushes the Trojans back. He is a force of nature. But there is a shadow on the wall. It is Paris, the brother of Hector, the lover of Helen. He is not a warrior of the spear. He is an archer. He stands hidden behind the stone merlons. He holds a bow. It is made of ibex horn. He nocks an arrow. He pulls the string back. The tension builds. He does not aim with skill. He aims with fear. But he is not alone. Apollo is there. The god stands beside him. The god's hand covers the hand of the mortal. Apollo guides the aim. He aligns the arrowhead with the only place that matters. The string is released. Thwip. Follow the arrow. It spins through the air. It is a blur of wood and feather. It does not fly toward the chest. It does not fly toward the head. Achilles is turning. He is stepping forward. His heel is raised, just for a second, exposing the tendon, exposing the vulnerability. The arrow strikes. It is not a loud sound. It is a small, insignificant sound. The arrow buries itself in the heel. It pierces the tendon. It pins the foot to the earth. Achilles stops. He feels a sharp, hot sting, like a bee sting. He looks down. He sees the shaft of the arrow sticking out of his foot. He looks confused. He tries to pull it out. He yanks on the shaft. Pain shoots up his leg. It is a sickening, nauseating pain. It travels up the calf, up the thigh, into the stomach. The poison of the arrow, or perhaps the poison of fate, enters his blood. His leg gives way. He falls to one knee. The great shield hits the ground. The dust puffs up around him. He looks up at the walls. He sees Paris looking down. He sees the sun, Apollo, shining bright and cruel. He tries to stand. He cannot. The strength is draining out of him. It is flowing out of his heel, soaking into the thirsty dust. He sits back. He feels heavy. His armor, which always felt light, now weighs 1,000 pounds. It is crushing him. He lies back on the earth. The sky is very blue. There are no clouds. It is a perfect, empty blue. He hears the sounds of the battle fading. The shouting seems to be coming from very far away. He hears the wind in the grass. He feels the cold creeping into his fingers. He feels it in his toes. The extremities are going numb. He thinks of the cave on the mountain. He thinks of the smell of pine needles. He thinks of the cool water of the River Styx. He remembers his mother holding him by the heel, the one place she touched, the one place that kept him human. His breathing slows, in and out. The chest rises and falls. Each breath is shallower than the last. The blue sky begins to darken. It turns purple, then gray, then black. The pain is gone now. There is only a floating sensation, like drifting on a calm sea at night. He closes his eyes. The golden lashes touch his cheeks. The heart, that great engine of rage and glory, shudders. It beats. Once. Twice. And then it stops. The bronze man is still. The story is finished. The hero has become the legend. We step back from the painting. We step back from the vase in the museum. The image of the fallen warrior is frozen in ceramic. The colors are still vibrant. The black of the armor, the red of the blood, the orange of the clay. The museum is quiet. The only sound is the hum of the air and your own breathing. You turn away from the vase. You walk through the empty halls. The moonlight guides you. You feel heavy, but it is a good heaviness. It is the heaviness of rest. The journey is over. The story is told. Now the darkness of your own room wraps around you. It is a protective velvet. Let the story drift away. Sleep now. Sleep.